What's up, everybody? This is Dee Watkins, host of the Unfiltered Views podcast. You are now tuned in to CQP Moments with the Coupon Queen Pin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of CQP Moments. As always, I am your host, the Coupon Queen Pin. Today, I have a guest, the incomparable powerhouse, Mr. Shawn Harper, and you have to keep listening to understand what I mean. So let's take a moment out for our sponsors, and I'll be right back with Shawn Harper. Voting isn't just going to the polls on election day anymore. Options like early voting, mail-in voting, and ballot drop boxes are available to more voters and are growing in popularity. How to Vote, a tool created by Democracy Works, breaks down the options your state offers for casting a ballot, empowering you to decide when and where to vote. Decide when and where to vote this year at howto.vote. So, guys, like I was telling you, I have Shawn Harper. And Shawn is a motivational speaker, but what really got me about him was his backstory. And honestly, I'll be very honest with you, Shawn, before I looked you up, I didn't know much about you. But then when I started reading into it, I was like, I had to have you. So, Shawn, would you please introduce yourself to my listeners?
Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Shawn Harper, and like she mentioned, 7-year professional football player, retired for the Rams and the Colts. I have traveling and been speaking for at least 20 years. I absolutely love to invest in people because one of the things I've learned and realized is that if you invest in people, it has the potential of reaping generations of dividends, and I'm all about winning for the long haul. So I'm a huge proponent of spiritual laws, and one of the things that I've learned is that it doesn't come to you if it can't get through you. So I just always focus on giving, and then God takes care of the backside, and we win.
Exactly. And you have a book that honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, called The Winning Edge 8 Principles. So, okay, before we get into everything, how did you get from there to here? Because it's always like everybody says, it's weird because when you talk to some people, it's always like everyone wants to convince you, okay, you can do it because I did it, but no one wants to tell you the process. And a lot of times when we fall, it's like a lot of people get discouraged because they've fallen.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. One of the things that I was able to do is that I was able to maximize and to acknowledge and recognize a paradigm that was in around my life at the time. There's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of winning, there's a lot of opportunities that happen when there is a paradigm shift of any type of a magnitude. If you could capitalize on a paradigm, wow. There is so much success for winning to be had. And what I mean by the word paradigm, I mean a seismic shift from the norm, that there is a new normal. And in that moment, you can make a decision. You can, the decision of either becoming a victim or transforming your life into a victor. Victims tend to focus on what they're going through. Victors tend to look at what and where they're going to. And I mentioned the word paradigm because right now with the situation with the virus, we are looking at the largest paradigm in human history.
I agree.
Probably, yeah, it will. This has eclipsed 9/11. This is larger than the internet. Think about the opportunities that happen after 9/11. You can look at the tragedy, or you can look at the opportunities. Look at the tragedies and opportunities as far as the emergence of the internet, 1990, 91. Think of the companies that went out of business, that are no longer here. Staples for hundreds of years. Now look at all the companies that have grown and exploded, like Amazon, Yahoo, Microsoft, Google. The list
Exactly.
goes on and on. Why? Because they were able to capitalize on a paradigm. You change your focus, you'll change your life. And so I'm going to answer that question. I was probably one of uh, um, the most likely person not to succeed in life. And I'm going to use the word succeed, but then I'm going to make a switch. And the switch is the paradigm. Born and raised on the south side of Columbus, Ohio, 4 to 5 documented learning disabilities. Kicked out of two schools because of disciplinary issues. I stuttered my entire life. I couldn't complete a sentence till college. Graduated last in my class with a 1.62 cumulative GPA, not on my ACT. Out of 154 seniors to graduate, my academic ranking was 154, voted most likely to fail. Wasn't even honorable mention all conference in high school sports. I was the one sitting in the back eating that nasty cordon bleu, at the awards banquets, and guys are getting like all city, all state, all intergalactic
Right.
university. And here I am just, here I am just back there. And it's like, wow, I'll never make it. I'll never be successful. And
So wait a minute. I know I was gonna, and I normally don't interrupt, but okay. See, here's something that just struck me. You're saying you couldn't make a full sentence without stuttering until college. And I actually want to bring this to parents of people with learning disabilities. In other words, a lot of times we are allowing those things to be put on our children because you are proof that, in other words, if somebody's pushing past these, if somebody knows you can and you're willing to work toward it, and if you have the right things in place and the drive, it can be done. Because a lot of times what happens is, and I'll be very honest, I've been paying attention a lot to your books and your book and your videos and everything. And it's one of those things of really just looking and seeing that, sometimes you have to change who's around you. And if you allow everybody to keep putting that on you, you're never going to make that change.
You are absolutely correct. And to be honest, I still stutter. I just stuttered, but my mom did an amazing job of not allowing that challenge to define me. One of the things that I live my life off of is that, no, I'm not disabled. I'm uniquely enabled. And so what that means is that everyone has strengths and everyone has weaknesses. You have to make a decision. Do you focus on your strengths or do you focus on your weaknesses? I mean, imagine if Superman always focused on kryptonite. That's all he focused on.
Wow.
I can't save the world because look at the kryptonite, I'm a victim. And so in the 5th grade, check it out, in the 5th grade, the psychologists and sociologists and all the ologists, they had me in the room. They tested me for several days. And they told my mother, yes, we see the disabilities and it's going to be tough for your son and this and this and this and this. In mid-sentence, she stood up and she said, "You will not label my boy. You won't do it." And we fought and we struggled, and I had to learn how to adapt, overcome what happened, and use those coping skills and learned how to navigate systems and I was able to leave high school 1.62, but I left high school and then I got off to a junior college. And at that junior college, I'm still on the existing paradigm of success.
Wow.
You know what? After the first year of junior college, I don't step on the field one play, and I'm ready to give up.